Hello and welcome everyone to the Friday, July 19th edition of the SIG ContribEx Contributor Com subproject team meeting. As usual, a reminder that we operate under a code of conduct which essentially says to be respectful of your fellow speakers and attendees and generally be excellent to each other. At the beginning of the call here, we like to open up an opportunity for anyone who's on the call to introduce themselves if you would like to, totally optional. I'll kick things off. I'm Caslin Fields, and I am one of the co-leads of this subproject. I'm also a co-chair of SIG Contributor Experience, the Special Interest Group for Contributor Experience, which is the parent group of this group. And our goal in this group is to make sure that contributors understand what's going on in the contributor community through communications, as well as creating communications that help folks outside of the project understand the awesome work that contributors are doing. And my pronouns are she, her. Anyone else like to go?
Certainly. I am Chris Short. I work on the open source team here at AWS, and I am also a co-lead of this subproject. Been around ContribEx for many, many years now, and very happy to be here. Anyone else?
Yeah, I can go. Maybe to go. I'm Fred. I'm also here a frequent contributor to SIG ContribEx comms. I'm also currently a part of the Kubernetes 131 release team, and I'm also helping out with the blogging aspects of ContribEx comms. And my pronouns are he, him, and I work as a cloud and architecture lead at SAS.
Welcome, welcome. Would anyone else like to go? Totally optional.
Hello, everyone. I could go next. My name is Arvind. I'm a part of the SIG ContribEx comms group, and I'm so very happy to be here. So if anyone is watching this and is thinking like, should I join or not, please do. That's it from me. My pronouns are he, him. Thank you.
Love to hear the endorsement.
Right? We should just throw that in, or one random suggestion for intro every time.
Yeah.
Is anybody watching
It has
this?
to be from the heart.
Join us.
True, though. True. Anyone else? Totally optional. All right. Feel free to interrupt at any time. This is a very casual call, and we'll get started with discussion. But before that, one more housekeeping item. Would anyone like to take notes today?
I would, but I need to jump in at 11:30.
Good point.
I think I can take notes today. I'm not going anywhere, so let me do that for once.
I also should add it to the spiel that to describe what taking notes entails.
Yes,
so as note taker, your job is to write down as much as you can catch of the conversation so that anyone who wasn't on the call can kind of get the gist of what we talked about. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I accept the mission.
Nice. We will move to the board later, and we don't normally take any notes on our discussion in the board because we take those notes within the board. I usually take them as we discuss. So you don't have to do that as note taker. Though if there's anything that comes up in the board that is something that needs to be recorded not on the board, then if you could run back to the notes doc and help make sure that that's recorded, that will be appreciated. I think that's kind of it. And I will smooth that out over time.
Nice.
Thank you very much, Mario. Or not Mario. I'm looking at the list and Mario's the last one in the list. Frederico. You, Frederico.
Yeah, sorry.
Thank you for doing the notes.
Okay, sorry. I was already missing something.
Busy doing the notes.
Nope. That's how it goes, right? All right. So if you have any new items or updates and big wins, go ahead and put those in. I think there was something else that was a new item that we were supposed to put in here. There was some conversation on Slack, I think, and Chris, you commented new item. I think it wasn't the thing that's in there already. But anyway, we'll talk about that one, see if we remember. Oh, did you remember?
No. Wait.
Oh.
So I basically am like, so there's an ongoing conversation about should we continue posting on Twitter. It's all happening in Slack right now. I think that's the right place, given that the people that we're talking to are all across the globe and they're not going to be able to join this call on a Friday last minute kind of thing. So yes, we will continue the word conversation about continuing Twitter or not via Slack and potentially come to a final decision in the upper level SIG ContribEx meeting. Basically, I can explain it, but I'm not going to because I've already wasted enough oxygen on this topic. But we need a standard of some sort, is what it looks like. Like, where are our red lines? And when do we do something about things? And yeah, that's it. That's what I got. It's a controversial issue, but there is a resolution here somewhere.
Or something.
Yes.
Thank you, Chris, for giving the overview of that. Any questions or comments about that ongoing discussion that folks want to bring up on the call?
And to be clear, we did talk about this before we started recording. So
yeah,
we all talked here and we all kind of have a consensus that this discussion needs to happen on Slack and continue forth as a higher level thing. We cannot just unilaterally make a decision, I think, on this one, because it is going to impact our entire audience, basically.
Indeed. All right. So that conversation will continue. If you have opinions, please do make yourself heard, regardless of your experience or expertise or background. As a member of the community, your opinion matters, because this is about representing the community and where we represent the community and how we represent the community. So the whole community's opinions matter. All right. Other new items. I think there was something, but I don't know what it was. If we remember it, we'll come back to that. There is something that I wanted to check back in on since it was new last week, which is the 2 blog help requests from SIG Network. Any updates there? I think, Frederico, you were going to check in on that.
Yeah, I was
I can
already
take
going
for
to
you while you talk.
No, it's quite short. So I did mention and I addressed the SIG network contact that was provided last week. I can't remember his name. Shared that we were here to help, and he said that he doesn't actually have anything to share right now. So that could have been a slight miscommunication in terms of the urgency of it. That he thinks that at least one is likely to be something that needs to be published. So I'm not sure if we are talking about 2 or 1. Either way, what I said was that we can help with the content, we can help with certainly we can help with the publication process. So whenever he has something that we can start working on, to tell us, and we will be immediately on it to simplify the process, help, assist, review, add content, etc. So that was it. There's no immediate action from our side. I think it was clear that we're waiting for something to exist so that we can start to act on it.
And at least from my perspective, I didn't expect them to have anything at this point. He just brought
okay.
up the topics in the chairs and TL's meeting last week, and they decided in that meeting, oh, these should probably be a blog
Yeah.
posts. So, so I didn't expect them to have anything really yet.
No. Oh, and
But
that's not a problem. What I say was that whenever there's something more concrete, either an abstract, a title, something that we can already start working with, we will help in pushing it through.
Yeah.
I think that's the best that we can do, right? The content itself, we can't do anything. It's up to them to actually describe what is the main message they want to convey.
yeah, and as we said last week, our role in this is kind of to be PMs about it, just kind of
Yeah.
check in with them to make sure that they're making progress.
Good
Very
one. I
good.
think we can add it to the board if needed.
If it moves farther along to a point where it's
Yeah.
a real thing.
True. Otherwise, it will just stick there and.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. In the board means that we check in on it every week, which I'm not sure if it's ready for.
Right.
But maybe it needs. I don't know. We can keep checking in on it for now and see if we lose it.
So I remember the
Uh,
other thing, the other new thing.
Yep. Go ahead.
So there's a blog post coming out about C groups switching to V2 versus, and deprecating V1. An issue was opened for that, or a pull request was open, but it's just a
Pull
placeholder right
request.
now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The strange process.
It's a strange process. It's also probably adjacent to the sensitive comms guidelines that we've yet to codify. So yeah, this is a tough one, but we'll get there.
Yeah. Currently the pull request just misspells the word documentation, which I find amusing.
Yes.
Because
Absolutely.
it's a placeholder, apparently. It's an interesting approach.
Just because
oh,
it's not
that
our process doesn't mean it's
Yeah.
bad.
it is interesting though.
Yes.
I find it confusing
A little bit, yeah.
because we were tagged on it and
Right.
we were
Like,
both just like,
"Huh?"
why?
Yeah, I sent the link to Kaz and I was just like, I'm not
Yeah.
sure what they're asking us for here.
Yeah.
And then I asked for confirmation and got no response. So we'll see
Yeah.
how it goes.
Which we don't usually review blogs. This is a part of release enhancements as well.
Yeah.
We don't
Yes.
normally review release enhancements blogs,
Bingo.
but we were requested to on this one, so that's nice. I'm glad for that.
Yeah, no, and maybe this will help jumpstart the sensitive comms guideline thing.
Which maybe is something else that we should go into next. And I know at least Sylvester only has a couple of minutes left.
Yes.
If there's anything that you need to pop in, let us know. But we can talk about the sensitive comms guidelines. So, and
we
also
have
the Twitter guidelines. I reviewed that last week. Mario, you're back now? Question mark.
Yeah, sorry. I'm basically I'm partly back because I'm still sick or ill.
Oh
But so I
no.
didn't do anything this week. So I haven't had a look
Okay.
at anything any point this week.
No worries.
But next week I will review the comments and then we can open basically a draft PR and then move forward from there.
I sat on that for a month, so it's one of those things where it requires collaboration and careful thinking, and that slows it down.
See you all next time. Have a good
Thanks for
weekend, everyone.
joining.
Yeah, bye.
Appreciate you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
And then sensitive comms guidelines. Maybe we should make some kind of plan to try to push that forward because we have a draft. think there was a
Kind
little bit of
of.
movement on it not too far back.
It's like a series of bullet points at this point, which might be the actual outcome kind of thing. Let's see. Let me drop. I'm trying not. Your line's about to move, Federico. Sorry.
So it goes
Work in
sometimes.
progress doc. There. Ta-da. Place.
Yeah, if anybody wants to look at that, please do.
Yeah.
If we haven't had our Pit look at it yet, we definitely should, since he is a social media shadow.
Yeah.
He's very interested in learning about social media things. That would be an important area for him. And he usually has a lot of good feedback and interesting questions. So he should be helpful as a reviewer.
Yes. I'm going to fire off an actual like Google Doc share email to him right now. Just added him as an editor to it so that he definitely like anybody with the link can go in there and do it. But I just want to make sure he has like an actual email saying, "Hey, we could probably use your help on this."
I also just added into updates that we should do another pass on owner's files and the team
Oh dear God!
definition.
Like,
GAM
can we do like a buffer audit sooner rather than later, because we have a
buffer audit,
lot
yeah.
of people in here. Like, there's no major concerns on my part because everyone is
Agreed.
not a admin. You know,
Yeah.
most of this stuff has to go through approval, so there's not a high risk, but there's risk. So we need to pull people out if they're not actively using it.
Yeah.
And of course, the buffer users page does not have like last login data on it. Super helpful.
Yeah, interesting point. That might be useful for admins. I guess you could give them that feedback if you wanted to.
I could. Where's my Discord?
That is a good point. Yeah. And we might also, while we're at it, think about folks who are active and check and see if there's anyone who particularly needs access. We've got a few who are doing comms for the Contributor Summit who will be getting access because of that. So
Right.
and I also added it to the Contributor Summit docs that the Contributor Summit lead needs to come here, request access for themselves and their shadows. The Contributor Summit lead gets admin access, basically full posting access, so that they can approve things from their own shadows.
Yeah.
The comms lead.
The
because
comms lead, yes.
The lead
Thank you.
lead does not necessarily need to have it.
Thank you. Yeah, the comms lead for Contributor Summit gets full posting access for the duration of their cycle as a lead. Their term is a lead. And anyone taking on that lead role should have been a shadow in the past, so they should have already gone through a cycle with approval required. So we expect that to be sufficient experience for them to be able to do this. Otherwise, we wouldn't be moving them up to lead. And as we go, if we figure out more guidelines and documentation stuff to put in that, we'll be continuing to update the docs for that role. Yeah, so I think that's good for our notes. Shall we move into the board? We've got a lot of stuff in there.
You took more notes than I did, but anyway.
All good.
Nice.
It's really a team effort, but having someone else volunteer and give it a shot is usually very helpful at the very least. Okay. All right. And I wanted to go back to my procedure of sharing my screen. I'm meant to do it for the notes as well. But I've at least remembered at this point, so I will do it for the board. Personally, I think I'm a fan of the sharing the screen. Go ahead.
It helps, yes. One point before we start, I actually, I a bit tardy, but I ended up doing that midweek updates thread on.
Oh yeah.
on Slack,
put
so
that in
we
the
do have
notes.
a bit more. Yeah, I'll add it. No
That's a new
worries.
item. I'll go ahead and
It is.
add it in
Okay.
at least as
Let
a
me. Yeah.
top level thing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was in caps. As we
Okay.
run a new weekly async SIG Spotlight update. I'm excited about that. I saw at least a couple of updates on that thread. I didn't check it to see if there were more. But I also talked to one or two folks who are doing SIG Spotlights, and they were excited about it as well. So to help them kind of stay on top of things. So thank you, Federico, for coming up with that idea and implementing it.
No, my pleasure.
All right, so back to the board. In the ready for review column, we have the shadowing guide. We discussed it last week or the last time that you were on, I think, and noted that there were some updates needed. I think that one's the issue. This one's the PR.
So it should be ready.
Yep, 2 hours ago. Wonderful. I think I already LGTM'd it. Yeah, so I just need to give this a quick once over and then I'll approve it. So I think I'll just skim it now because I know that I've read it before. I feel confident that this is good and good enough to be merged. We can always make edits.
Exactly. Yeah.
So unless there are any comments or suggestions to hold or anything, I'm going to go ahead and approve this. Have a hold on it? Yes. It already has approved on it, so I'm just going to remove the hold.
There you go.
How do I do that? Cancel hold?
Yes. Or shoot. That's a great question. I'm
It's
trying
not,
to remember how to assign an area to an issue, and I can't.
I think it's cancel hold. Let's find out.
I think it's hold cancel, isn't it?
Oh God.
I don't think that did it.
Oh yay, that worked. Cool.
I don't remember how to do it.
Slash area works. I know that.
Unhold also works, I think.
Unhold. There you go.
Brains.
Yes.
They forget
Memory.
things. That
all
worked.
That stuff. Yes.
Wonderful. Good teamwork. Thank you, team. All right. So that should be merged momentarily. Thank you, Federico, for working on that. Any questions, comments about the shadow guide for blogging lead for our group? All right. The other item in ready for review is the SIG API machinery spotlight. I made some
API machinery.
Yes.
And it's also on the. I did a quick review on the threads in Slack, but the short of it is that I've rescheduled it, changed the publication date for next week. It's waiting for an LGTM. I think that reviews are done, but I mean, you take a look and tell me.
It has an LGTM.
I just gave it one. I trust you.
Excellent.
And I know I reviewed it before, so.
Right.
And thank you, Arvin, for reviewing it and adding some comments.
Yes.
Yeah. And we did have also docs looking at it. So it should, it's scheduled for next Wednesday.
Is there a Kate's blog PR?
There is. It's likely linked somewhere in there.
Yeah, hang on. Let me find it. There we go. Kubernetes website. Found it.
Also, might I mention that recently I was looking at the Kubernetes blog website and I noticed just how many of those are our team's blogs. And I really appreciate how we keep content going on the blog site. If we could just do that for some of our other social media accounts, that would be great. But our work on blogs is So awesome. Thank you, Federico, for running that and everyone who contributes to that. It is such, I think, a benefit to the project to have that content coming out regularly. Well,
Yes.
frequently. Relatively frequently, at least, if not regularly.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to rank on Google well, you have to update the website on a frequent basis. That's just how it works, you know?
So it's a really important contribution to the project.
It is.
Really
Like,
appreciate everyone
more than
who
people
does that.
realize, I think. Yeah.
I hadn't even thought about that, actually, for the SEO.
Like, just that alone, right? Like, is why I try to post to my website at least once a month or add something new to it at least once a month. And even then, that's not like the optimal time frame. Anyways, I digress.
I should write a blog today.
I just drafted one yesterday, and I had a coworker look at it to make sure I wasn't going to step in something, and it'll come out on Tuesday.
All right. And so I think I'm going to move to the in progress column. Last time we actually added the new blocked and waiting column and moved a bunch of stuff in there, but we will review that after we review the in progress column, since those things should be active and in need of attention. Blocked and waiting is probably things that don't need immediate attention, or if they do, then it's very important that we do that. So hopefully we'll get to it. We have 19 minutes left. We can do this.
Just real quick on
Go ahead.
the API machinery spotlight on the Kubernetes blog, it is held and still work in progress. So if you want me to drop those, I can, or you can do it, Federico, whatever.
Oh,
It's what? Sorry, it's still broken. But yeah, I'll remove the whip.
Yeah,
tag.
it's held
Yeah.
and work in progress and all that stuff. Yeah.
we should have that in the board.
I think it's
Oh,
there.
work in progress.
We've got an issue for the contributor site and we have the PR for the contributor site, but I don't see.
I've just added one because having an issue and 2 PRs is a bit excessive. I thought at the time, but it's
yeah.
you can
I
add it
remember that.
Obviously.
Yeah,
But
I think we could add it.
but it's in here somewhere.
Issue?
Yeah, here
I
it
see
is.
the
It's
issue.
mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's mentioned, and let me just retitle it.
Current Caslin favors adding it to the board as its own block.
Current.
Because that's
Caslin.
more things to move to done when it's done.
Okay, I removed the tag.
Moving things to done is satisfying.
Nice.
Pro tip for your everyday life. Create some kind of to-do list where you could move things to done. It really helps me get things done because it's so satisfying.
It doesn't help me at all. I've tried.
Sad.
I'm bad with to-do lists.
Yes. Like, I'm good
I've
with
tried-
Kanban, and doing Kanban as a to-do list is hard.
Yeah, it's true. There are a lot of issues with the digital ones. I like doing like physical post-it notes and a physical planner personally. But to each their own, very much a personal thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move into the in progress column. First one, buffer access audit.
Oh, I have a PDF. I guess I could. Can I attach like a random file to one of these? I wonder. Probably not. And I don't know why I'm trying to click on the Zoom window share and not the actual board thing. So yeah. Let me see. Yeah, no attachments. Doesn't look like. Okay, fun. So I have a PDF of the file and of like all the users, and there's a long list of folks. I guess I could pull out all the names and add them here or something. Sorry. But yes, we still need to do that.
Then you have a PDF outputted of all of the names for your review.
Yes, or at least the actual page.
Yeah. So we could use that, and we can also use the actual page.
Yeah.
Good to know. I'm free after 11 my time, and then I also need to get lunch, which I can only do noon to 1. So I'm free 11 to noon, and then after 1. My
Ouch.
time.
Okay. I mean,
Today. we'll work something out on Slack.
Yes, very good idea.
Cool.
Let's not talk about my calendar right now.
Yeah. It'll be nice to have a hangout too. We haven't done that in a while. So
That's true.
that'll be nice.
My calendar, my work calendar is based on a Microsoft product. Just gonna leave that there.
I like that. I like that a lot. I'm gonna tell my partner about that later. Who works at Microsoft.
Yes, thank you. It's like,
You'll
oh, it's not our
appreciate that.
fault. Wait, there's no quality control from Microsoft? Anyways.
I showed him a snarky comment about a Microsoft product yesterday, and he appreciated that.
Nice.
Anyway, moving on in the in progress column, promoting the new contributor workshop content. Last time we decided to give up on waiting for the actually I have some relevant stuff on this. We decided to give up on waiting for the GitHub code spaces, workspaces, whatever those are called. And just go ahead and promote this content. There was actually some discussion about this in the SIG ContribEx meeting. Sandeep, who is often part of our group and who is part of our group and often in our meetings, said, gave the suggestion that we should have more of like a one-pager getting started guide at the beginning of that content. Not necessarily at the beginning of that content, but that's one option at least. So I went ahead and started drafting something for that. So we might make an update to that in the pretty near future. If we get that kind of worked out in the next couple of weeks, I could see that moving fairly fast. So alongside that update might be a great opportunity for us to do some promotion.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And also, Josh Burkus created a issue or a help wanted request. There's the idea of like the one-pager orientation guide. There's also this very related concept, not sure if they're the same or not, of like a paths document of like, if you are like in this kind of scenario, you should check out these specific resources and
like
that
flowchart
kind of thing.
Thingy, or
what
I
did
should
you
just
call
say
it?
mermaid
flowchart?
JS kind of thingy. Yeah.
I like the idea of it as a flowchart, actually. That's a pretty cool idea.
Yeah.
Josh was saying like it would be great if we could get someone who has like academic expertise in creating like path documents. I don't know if we'd be able to find someone with that specific of experience, but I like the idea of a flowchart. We do what we can here.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Josh is referring to specifically, so I would have to investigate, to be honest.
Yeah,
but,
I'll find that link.
PATH or PASS? Sorry.
Path, like path.
Okay. With the
document.
With the PH. Yeah.
Yeah. Hello. I think.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello. Sorry, I'm eating my dinner, so I don't have my camera on.
All good.
Yeah.
We were actually just talking about you because we were talking about the one-pager document idea.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think what just means what just means what by the path-based document is like say I'm just looking to be a contributor like in SIG ContribEx. Okay? Somebody is trying to actually be a Go developer. Somebody is trying to actually be in the testing. So each one of us is joining open source with probably a different vision. So this is what he means by path.
Okay. Yeah.
That was my interpretation.
That makes
as
total
well.
sense. Yeah. So like, I think one of my first blog posts ever about Kubernetes was like, are you a user or a maintainer? Right? Like, there's a difference. And like, that's where the distinction starts, in my opinion. But like a persona-based path makes total sense here. I work in testing. I work in machinery. I work in comms. You know, like all those entry points are valid, and they should all have.
Here are some example goals. If your goal is to develop these skills versus these skills.
Right. Yeah.
Something to continue thinking about. But for now, Sandeep and I are working on a kind of general intro to the project short document.
Nice.
Anything else you want to say on that, Sandeep, before I mention the other idea that we had in the meeting? Okay. So one other thing that I mentioned in the meeting is that I would kind of like to start up like a monthly new contributor orientation meeting, which is going to be a very heavy lift, I'm sure. And I'm signing myself up for too much work probably, but I'm imagining it as like very consistent content of like, here's how the project is structured. Here's a little bit of information about SIGs. Here's a little bit of information about how you contribute. Here are all the links, a little bit of time for questions. Just do that once a month.
I think that's
I,
brilliant.
that's a great idea, and I can also help you
Yes,
there because
same.
it was basically the talk that I did for for the 10th year anniversary in Munich.
Oh, great point. I thought other folks would be also interested in helping to run that, so it shouldn't be too terrible of a workload. We can do this together.
Yeah. Between the three of us, absolutely.
Even more, I'm sure. If we
Yeah, there'll
create
be
a
more.
fairly consistent like slide deck,
Mhm.
I'd love to see your slide deck, Mario. We should have a conversation on Slack and share some materials
Yeah.
together. And
Like-
then we can create kind of a fairly standard slide deck, and folks could give that pretty easily.
Remember, we still have the slide deck from when we used to do these in person, too.
Yep. Those are giant, though. I think
I
there's
know.
only like
we just
small
need to
pieces.
pull like tidbits out, right? Like
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah. And we have some from the SIG ContribEx maintainer session that we gave last time too, because that was also
Awesome.
about new contributors.
Awesome.
So
Plenty of source
nice.
material means we can do this.
Yeah, I think we should aim to try and do it in the first full week of August. Is that a crazy
That's
thing to
doable.
say? Right?
Might.
And
be
I
out
mean,
of town. Oh, the first full week? Yeah. No, I'll
Yeah,
be here.
first
Yeah,
full
that
week.
works. Yeah.
and maybe, but this is something that we should consider, is that we do 2 sessions in a month.
Ooh, yeah.
to be more friendly towards times, because time zones.
I was actually thinking that, but I was like, well, I'll have to recruit people for that. Now I've recruited people, so
Because
I
if
like the
I do
idea.
it, if I do it something in the morning, that's basically
Middle
around
of the night for me.
lunchtime for lunchtime for Asia, which would be fine.
Yeah, that'd be great. And then we could do it early morning my time, which is late for Asia, but kind of the end of the day for Europe. So that might be another good time. We should have a discussion on Slack. Thank you for being interested in this idea. So excited about it. Awesome. All right, we have 7 minutes left, and we have gotten through very little of the in progress column. I guess for spotlights, we could check the thread in Slack. Are there any particular spotlights that you want to give updates on? Would you like me to go through each one individually?
No,
What would you like Federico?
I can actually. We had a lot of movement this week, so
Oh, awesome.
Okay. Shall we go through each one?
So no, I mean, I'll tell you by heart, and if I miss something, we can leave it for next week.
Perfect.
So SIG architecture enhancements, we got an initial batch of answers. Still one answer missing, but there's movement there. SIG architecture, I can't remember which one it is, but I have a meeting with the author next week, one-on-one with Gordon on it. And so those two are the ones. The SIG architecture ones are the ones with more movement, along with the SIG API machinery that we already discussed. The rest we've actually contacted and we've pinged. We still don't have additional feedback. This goes for the SIG security one and the SIG etcd one. We've asked for the status. We're still waiting for an answer.
Okie dokie. So that was security architecture. We didn't mention scheduling. I think that's
No, we didn't.
any updates
me
there,
go.
Arvind?
Yeah, so we basically had some internal revisions on it in HackMD.
Yep.
So Fratigo gave some comments there. So thanks to Fratigo for that. I've basically resolved them, made some changes there, and I think it's ready to
For
be
the PR.
thrown into a
Yeah.
PR now. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's also in the Slack
Yes.
thread. So yeah, we're also updates on that. The PR will be open before by Monday or something at least. So we have another one in the oven.
Wonderful. Oh, I like the idea happening in the chat. I was just catching up on it.
Yes. Sorry, I was going to bring it to this here in a moment.
Yeah, we can go ahead and mention it.
Yes. So Sandeep mentioned it would be great to get a spotlight for the deaf and hard of hearing working group. I think yes, +1 to that, but also, right, like we can totally do social anytime there's anything cool happening there, right? So that's completely an option, and I'm glad Sandeep has access to Buffer and Kevin's already walked through. Because yeah, like Sandeep, just for your knowledge, I'm usually always on a device of some sort, even when I'm not. So if you fire off something, I will happily approve and schedule it, right? Like, too easy. I can review it, schedule
Thank you.
it, on
Thank you.
yards. Yeah. So,
Yeah, feel free
don't
to
be
make
shy.
use of your access to Buffer. We
Yes,
gave you
don't
that
be shy.
access because you are a trusted and valued member of the community. If you want to post things, feel free to suggest them. We can always reject them if we don't think it's a good fit, but just feel free to suggest. You can't do anything wrong with your level of access.
Bingo.
Um, one other thing on that, we wouldn't normally do a spotlight on something at the CNCF level as opposed to the Kubernetes level. It might be nice to focus it on how members of the deaf and hard of hearing working group can contribute to Kubernetes specifically. Sandeep, you could talk about your experience. I don't know if anyone else from the deaf and hard of hearing working group is doing contribution in Kubernetes, but we could take that angle for at least part of the blog.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? You like it?
Nice. Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't think anybody is actually very heavily involved with Kubernetes. I doubt so.
Except for you. So you
Huh.
could speak to your experience.
Yeah, totally. And
Okay.
we can have.
I love it.
Oh yeah, this could be awesome. Definitely.
Let's make it
Definitely.
happen. Thank you for joining, Mario. Feel better?
Yeah. Yeah, feel better, buddy.
All right. Shall I go ahead and add an item to our board for that? I think I will.
Might as well.
I'm currently calling it Deaf Hard of Hearing Working Group plus K8's blog post. Oh, and I should assign you, Sandeep, to that. Actually, I don't think I can assign you since you're not an org member yet, and we should probably fix that in the next week or two, because you definitely have enough to go ahead and go for that. So let's sync up on that on Slack and get you going with that probably in the next week. Just go ahead and get that created. I don't think I can do that right now. Oh, oh. There is a Sandeep, but that is not the right Sandeep. Okay.
I think we figured a workaround for this when Mario suggested that we turn the draft into an issue and then Sandeep comments on it with /assign. I think that can get him assigned to
yeah.
the issue.
Good point. But also we can get Sandeep org membership. It'll be kind of a forcing function. And maybe we
Yes.
can turn it into an issue next week. Thank you, Arvin. That is a really good point, though, that we can turn these things into an issue and have the person assign themselves. And that is a workaround for that I had not thought about at all as part of the workflow. So thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, like that feature's there. We should use it.
We should definitely use that since we did not. It was just occurring to me as I was like talking about that that's probably why I can't assign people. It's because of that issue. Anyway, we are at time. We didn't mention the SIG docs or apps spotlights either, but those owners aren't on the call today. So let's check in on
Yep.
that on Slack through those processes, which exist. Let me look through these real quick to see if there's anything that we need to go over. kubectl spotlight, also an exciting idea. That person isn't here. Notify comms team when a new issue is created. Mario was doing some work on that. We'll check in with him again on that next week. Guidelines for usage of Kubernetes IO on Twitter. We should get some stuff moving on that in the next week or two. Comms team social media lead shadow structure. That's something for me to do that I'm still noodling on. It'll probably take a long time, as it already has. And then just to review blocked and waiting real quick. SIG security is waiting. Add all use cases for Zapier automation. Zapier stuff just comes up periodically, so leaving that in blocked and waiting for now. We could always move it if you want. We can discuss that another time. Sensitive communications process. Should I move that to in progress since we've got conversations going on right now?
Yeah, mine as well.
Yeah, I think so. It's going to be part of a conversation that will be active, so that sounds good. Oh, no. Yes, that's right. Wait. Sensitive communications process and guidelines for sensitive end user comms. Those are the same thing that has two blocks. I'll move that over to in progress as well for now. We can get rid of one of them if we want to or something.
Yeah.
Help wanted posts. Sundipun is just finishing up, I think, an LFX mentorship, an internship. And so I think he'll have a little bit more time to think about these things later. He actually just mentioned help wanted posts to me this week. So I think he actually wants to try to help out some more there. He's been such a wonderful steward of that, making sure that it stays on our radar. So really appreciate his work there, even though we've struggled to get that done. Add LinkedIn to Kates.io and Kates.dev. Oh yeah, the websites, we need to fix that. And establishing a process to prevent duplication of LWKD articles. So I think the board is up to date. We are 2 minutes over. Any beyond last minute items before I move to my other meeting? As several folks already have. All right. Thank you. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so just one small thing. I think a few members of the DAF and hard of hearing working group they are working to create the sign language glossary for Kubernetes. So I think in a way they are contributing, no? That counts as a contribution.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh.
We should feature that. Yeah, there's some good ideas here. So feature Sandeep's experience, feature the deaf and hard of hearing working group's work on that glossary, and then a general overview of the deaf and hard of hearing working group. I think those 3 pieces as a blog would be good.
Yes.
Let's chat more on Slack and we'll get it going. All right. Thank you everyone for joining today. And I have another meeting, so I am going to end the meeting rather than sticking around. So good to see you all. See you on Slack.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.